What's going on, guys? Rolandas here. Today we're gonna be talking about my second hair transplant. It's a funny story actually, because as soon as I pressed that upload button on my previous video, I pretty much immediately received an email back from Dr. Ferreira outlining his proposal for my second hair transplant. And of course, if you've been watching my previous videos, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because we've been waiting for it. And for those of you who are new here, let's quickly recap. I had a hair transplant done with Dr. Bruno Ferreira in Portugal almost 12 months ago. I had covered only frontal third during my first hair transplant because it was pretty much bald, and I am Norwood 5A. And my second surgery was planned a year after that, so that's pretty much the time now. And also on this channel, I'm covering different tips and tricks for hair transplant and hair loss, so if you're new here, consider subscribing. And yeah, let's just jump into the email, I guess. Looking at your photos, which are these ones, I believe we should I believe we should aim on the higher side and go for around 2000 to 2500 grafts for crown and mid-scalp. You have some hair there, but since your recipient area is 70 grafts per centimeter square, we would need 3150 grafts to get 45 grafts per centimeter square. 2000 get us to 29 grafts per centimeter square. So I'll have a better look when you come in, but I'm thinking of around that density. Fair enough. And he said here that he thinks to use approximately 2000 grafts, which will give us around 29 grafts per centimeter square, if you do the math. And what he means by that is that I already have a native hair in there, so whenever assessing or creating a plan for density wise, you always have to count the individual hairs that are already there. So in this case, 45 grafts per centimeter square in mid-scalp and crown would be including the native hair. Because as we all know, we see hair loss when we lost approximately 50% of native density already. So basically, like I said in my previous video, the aim of a hair transplant is to recreate this 50% of density. So the visual look will be pretty good and dense. And right now my mid-scalp is in worse situation than my crown. Crown has pretty good amount of hair still in there, and they are relatively thick as well. I mean, in terms of terminal hair. So obviously Finaster did a pretty good job to keeping them and even make some of them pretty strong. So I would say the main transplanting focus would go towards the mid-scalp, which is pretty much bald. Also, some people are worried about the crown because it's pretty difficult to recreate like a natural whorl pattern. And to be honest, from Dr. Ferreira, I've seen only one result that he posted on his Instagram or Facebook quite recently actually. And the result looks pretty amazing, in my opinion. I mean, like, if I would gonna get whatever this guy have, like, I think it would be an absolute home run. As for the hairline, I can see how we can refine it and make it even better. Also take care of the double you were worried about. And I found what I found. Double graft in my hairline. Oh no!
Ladies and gentlemen, we got it.
Do you remember I said once that turns out Dr. Ferreira is actually watching my videos, I guess? At least he commented under one and he spotted that I was complaining about this double here. I'm thinking 500 grafts, but I'll know better when I see it. Same for the temporal peaks. So yeah, just as I outlined on my previous videos, I'm thinking of going a little bit more aggressive, not too much. I'm not planning to lower my hairline like many people ask me actually. I'm just planning to reinforce the existing hairline and also my temporal peaks, because I think they are getting a little bit weaker, and especially with this particular hairstyle when the sides are like pretty long, it does not look that good. If it makes sense, it looks a little bit too thin. So this is interesting. Dr. Ferreira does not want to lower the hairline, which is great. I don't think we really need to lower my hairline. It looks pretty good. It's almost at the same height as it was before my hair loss. Maybe it's a little bit like higher, but not really that much. Hairline refinement and improvement of temporal peaks. Area is about 20 centimeters square, so it will need around 500 grafts. I would assume I need at least 100 grafts on each side, maybe even more, just to kind of reinforce it a little bit. He drew a really interesting outline of the temporal peak, which I think should be brought a little bit more to the front, like this area over here, just a little bit forward, but not too much, just a tiny bit. But again, this picture is basically just you know, for information purpose, so it's gonna be discussed more. I'm really looking forward to get this done, and you know, I'm gonna obviously document quite a lot about every little step. In terms of the hairline, I think it just needed like a couple of hundred grafts, maybe 200-300 grafts pretty much just to sprinkle all over the recipient area, because if you remember from my last video when I parted my transplanted area, you can see there's some gaps. So whenever the hair is gonna be shorter, you're gonna be able to see it, like see the scalp much easier than when the hair is like as long as it is right now. Of course, we're gonna see it as soon as they're gonna get a buzz cut, but nevertheless, I think just a couple of hundred grafts gonna pretty much make a huge difference. And on this picture, obviously, you can see a pretty good amount of hair, like I said before, on my crown. And you know what I noticed? That this specific angle for the picture can be a little bit misleading. I remember I did an experiment when my hair was much shorter for my mid-scalp and crown. And when the picture is taken from the top view, because my hair is growing kind of like forward a little bit, it covers more scalp, so the density looks much better than this actually is. But on another side, if you look from this angle, you can clearly see through the whole scalp. So it depends on the angle through which you're looking at. It can look better or worse. So yeah, the prognosis is to use pretty much like 2,500 to 3,000 grafts, and you know, to cover the remaining area, plus reinforce the hairline and temporal peaks. So I think it's pretty good. I wouldn't mind to aim towards 3,500. Obviously, if Dr. Ferreira would think it's, you know, I would need it, because considering my donor area, I've got really good amount in the bank. Even if I'm gonna use 3,500 grafts right now on my second surgery, I would still have around 2,000 to 3,000 grafts available for the future. So I think I'm in a pretty good situation. Anyways, let me know in the comments down below what do you think about this specific plan. I think it looks pretty good and interesting, so I cannot really wait to get my surgery done. And I'm really hoping someone gonna cancel their surgery so I'm gonna be able to get it done even sooner. So hey, if you got the dates earlier than me and you possibly want to switch it, and there's one thing you forgot to do it right now, is to press the like button. Give me a solid, do it right now. Comment down below what your thoughts are about this. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.